Welcome to another episode of Fight the Burnout. Let's talk a little bit about me and why I do what I do. Because, hey, maybe you're new to the podcast, maybe you're new to the YouTube channel, maybe you're new to however it is that you're finding me. But I want to tell you a little bit about who I'm and why you should listen to me and bring us on board to your department. Because we run trainings for police departments to eliminate burnout. So we prevent PTSD, we prevent and we stop officers from leaving. You entice officers to come and join your team because they know that they're mentally looked after and mentally taken care of. And you reduce the amount of use of force and maybe unjustified complaints. Save you some money. So who am I? I'm Chris Chandler-Yates. I am married to a lovely New Zealander named Kristen who has saved my life multiple times, both mentally and physically throughout the years. I am originally from California, Redding, California. Left there at the ripe age of 13 with my parents. We sailed halfway around the world for 5 years. Ended up here in New Zealand in 2004. That shows my age at 17. And in 2011, I decided I actually joined the New Zealand Police Force. 2008, I actually saw a train crash happen, which sparked me to want to join the police force. This is really important to know when it was that you decided you want to join the police force. It helps you stay centered. And then in 2012, I had an incident, a job happen, which isn't that big of a deal in some grand schemes for some officers of what they've been involved in and the people that we've interviewed on this podcast and things. But guess what? Everybody is affected by things in a different way, depending on their upbringing, depending on what they've gone through in the past. Things spark changes in people. And sometimes you don't even know what it is. I know officers that just by seeing a dead body, they got spiraled. Then I know officers who deal with dead bodies. I was myself. Dead bodies never really affected me too much. It does affect you, but it didn't affect me that much. Notification jobs and having my partner get assaulted in the job when I went to go arrest somebody threw me over the edge. Maybe it's a shooting for you. Maybe it's a notification job like it was for me. Maybe it's a dead body. Maybe it was a kid. Maybe it was an incident with a kid. Maybe it was something drug related. I don't know. But we all react to things differently. And so in 2012, I had that incident happen where my partner got assaulted and it spiraled me because I was already starting to burn out. Like we've talked about in previous episode, burnout is accumulated stress. While I was in high alert all the time already as a cop, I was constantly switched on, constantly looking around for threats, constantly looking for the criminals, even off duty. Didn't learn and know how to turn off. On the podcast in future episodes, we're going to teach you how to turn off. In 2014, though, after going through counseling once already because of some notification jobs, and I thought I had dealt with everything, but really I hadn't been honest with myself or with the counselor, and the counselor didn't line up with me. In 2014, I became the Prime Minister of New Zealand's bodyguard, did protection services for a further 3.5 years. But in 2015, only a year into protection services, I was extremely burned out. I was so bad that I thought cars were following me when I come back to the United States. I thought I was always looking over my shoulder. I was riding my motorcycle to its absolute limits and beyond what I was capable of just to feel something. And in 2016, I almost cheated on my wife, stopped myself. I know it's no big deal for some of you, but anybody who knows somebody who's been burned out or suffered from PTSD or hit that rock bottom knows that it's just one step off. I'm just lucky that I have massive values and I live by them and always have and been trained from a young age to live by my values of not hurting somebody else. And part of my purpose is to not hurt other people and to create less pain. But 2015, I was so burned out. 2016, I ended up almost cheating on my wife, planning it out with multiple women. And there was one night where I was sitting on a couch with another woman. My wife was away overseas working. And I found myself actually starting to make moves. And I just hated who I was seeing in the mirror. So in 2017, I took some leave without pay, started to work on myself after working with a counselor. My wife got me to go to counseling again. That counselor identified I was burned out. My tank was so empty that I couldn't see anything but negativity. The negative wolf, as I call him, the negative demon just took over. And in 2018, I sadly left law enforcement. I left law enforcement, the job that I once loved so much that I used to push everybody to come do it. I used to tell everybody, you need to do this job. It is the best job in the world. It's so exciting. It's so much fun. But now I wish I knew what I know now. And this is why we do the podcast. This is why we do these episodes. This is why I train departments to eliminate burnout in their new officers and their current officers. Because if I had had the tools on how to eliminate and prevent burnout, I would not have suffered the PTSD of the job that where my partner got assaulted. And I blame myself. I blame myself for not arresting him fast enough. I had a sense of survivor's guilt, knowing what I know now. I didn't talk about the incident. Came home to my wife, bawled my eyes out on the back step, and then didn't talk about it again until I left the place and realized, oh my God, this caused everything in the last 5 years, 6 years. Because I didn't communicate it. I didn't tie the fact that actually I did the best that I knew how to do in that moment. That it affected me so much because part of my purpose is to create less pain. I felt like I caused more pain. And I didn't communicate that. I didn't talk about it. I didn't know myself well enough to actually go and ask for help until I had hit rock bottom. Now I know this could be, you're like, yeah, you're pussy. You're just soft. What a soft job. I've been to this job and I've been to that job. And, you wear it as a badge of honor. But guess what? It's not. You don't like hearing that? Take a big self-check real quick. Because it doesn't matter what you've been to, what you've been involved in. What matters is how you process it. And do you have the tools to prevent yourself and to be able to process it in your own head without the need for a debrief, because the departments are not giving big debriefs. Yes, the department should be giving big debriefs. But even with a big debrief, are you actually communicating properly and clearly to yourself and to others? Well, I'm going to teach you how. I'm going to give you little insights on how to communicate differently to yourself, how to communicate differently to your partner, how to communicate differently to your relationship, to yourself, to your work, so that you thrive and can process all that big trauma that we see. The 18 times as much trauma in the first 12 months as a civilian in the entire life. Remember that number, because you do see it. Now I help police departments and police officers to prevent and eliminate burnout, whether that be through fitness, whether that be through our programs with departments. So if you are a department, or maybe you're an officer, or maybe you're part of the command staff who want to eliminate burnout or want to prevent burnout so that they prevent PTSD, so that they're in the job and they love it, like it's the first day after 20 years, but with experience. You want to save your department money. You want to save your department money on having to train new people. You want to help entice people to your department because you look after their mental health. You want to make a bigger impact on the community because your officers are fully in line with why they do what they do and really want to keep helping the community and don't become that ego cop, that cynical cop, that hard cop that we all know one, if not more. Then I want you to go to createfromwhy.com/LEO. That's createfromwhy.com/LEO. Have a look at what we do. Book a time in to have a conversation, and we'll tell you in depth what we do and how your department can actually get involved in it, make a difference, and change the community. Remember, train hard, test easy, like, subscribe, share this with somebody. Share this with one of your command staff. Get them on board, get them thinking. Because without your help, policing will stay in the past and it will be a just suck it up, buttercup mentality. Till next time, stay safe. Love you all.